Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today I've got a bit of a live commentary over this round, and I wanted to show you guys because it was absolutely bonkers. We ended up going against 72 players at the end of this game. I don't know what is happening right now. I thought this was just a bug in the UI, as I put out in my original sort of review, first impressions video of 0 Hour. On one of the games I played, in the score screen, it said we were up against more than 64 players. We were actually up in that game against 75 players. I figured it was just a bug, and the fact that we lost by 700 tickets happened to be a coincidence. But this game proves it again. So right here, I think we are 55 players going up against 72. I have no idea what happens to cause this bug, but that is just the cap for the players per team. So I spawned in the Nightbird here, and the main reason I'm going to be playing in the Nightbird this round is that the round before I had this transport chopper the entire game just shredding me. Nobody was working on him, nobody was going to town on him and taking care of business, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to spawn in the Nightbird at the start of this round, and I'm going to go and take down the transports instantly, and that's what you saw me doing there. I'm not going to finish off these stragglers on the ground so they don't cap this flag. So during this video, I'm going to try and give you guys some tips for using the Nightbird on exposure, because I'm sure you guys will have noticed everybody right now is using the TV missile. They are just flying all over the place, and you're really going to have to be dodging a lot of those, especially if you're playing against 72 players. So we've got some guys up here in the mountain. I always like to switch between the rocket pods and the cannons. In fact, generally I don't really like to use rocket pods that much. You guys would probably say you see me using them a lot in my videos, but more recently I've switched to using the guided missile so that I can deal with tanks as well, because the rocket pods just don't really do any damage to tanks. However, in this situation I am using the rocket pods because they do a lot of damage to air vehicles, and the enemy transport helis just have so much HP, so much health, that you really sort of need those rocket pods to take them by surprise and quickly burn through that health. So I'm just working my way up this ravine here. It's actually quite nice to avoid lock-ons. If you stay in there, you know, anybody who's up on top of the cliffside there and is trying to lock you on, or even fire TV missiles, they're going to have a hard time doing that if you sort of hug the wall and stay between these two ravines that the flags lie in. So right here I've spotted an enemy attack helicopter. Now to get this guy, a lot of people would open fire right away. The thing with the cannons and the rocket pods in the Nightbird is that, well, at least the cannons, they do way more damage up close. So I waited there, didn't alert him, hit him with the rocket pods first, and then finished him off with the cannons. That is the best way to deal with an attack helicopter. If you engage them from too far a range, guys, they're just going to get you with the lock-ons, and you're just going to die to them super easily. So that was the first lock-on, I think, or one of the first lock-ons of this game. Most people have been using the TV missile, but I think towards the end of the game, more and more of them start to switch over to the AA missile because, well, the TV just isn't really working that well against the Nightbird. Speaking of which, I don't know what they did in the pre-patch for Season 1 to the heli controls, specifically for the Nightbird. I haven't tried it out yet for the attack helicopter, so maybe they changed all the heli controls, but at least the Nightbird is way more agile. It's even more sort of floaty and maneuverable than it was. I kind of like it. It is taking some getting used to, but my god, can you dodge projectiles so much easier than you could before. And here you can hear some TV missiles coming in, so this is one of the main things I wanted to comment on here. I didn't realize this before I got in the Nightbird in this round, but you can actually hear the TV missiles coming. You hear that? There's kind of like this whistling sound that you can only hear if a TV missile is flying close to you. So if you're the actual launcher of the TV, you don't hear this at all. But it really gives you an indication that a TV missile is coming for you. Of course, you get that big red on-screen indicator that it is a TV missile, as well as the red sort of, you know, smoke trail from the projectile itself. So they're really easy to see. It's not like in BF4 where they're this tiny little yellow dot off in the distance, and before you know it, it's hit you in the face. So if you hear that whistle behind you, like right now to the left of me, I can hear it. You want to try and make some kind of an evasive maneuver, and you can really gauge how close the missile is, even though you can't see it, solely on the sound. So that's actually some really nice design by DICE there. It might be a little too easy to dodge, honestly, though, in the Nightbird. I suppose it's not really designed for taking down the Nightbirds, though. So here we've got a bit of a confrontation from the enemy Nightbird. This is a good example of how to deal with one. He's actually using his cannons from too far a range here. He hasn't been bursting them properly, so I've sort of backed off here, allowing him to attack me while he's not really in range to do proper damage, use up most of his cannon's cooldown, and then I've pushed him when I know that he can't open fire on me when I get close, and that's actually allowed me to take him out there. So that's another mistake that a lot of new Nightbird users do when they get into 1v1s. They just, you know, let rip from way too far a distance. The fall off of the miniguns, you know, I can't mention this often enough, it really picks up fast the farther you get away from your target. So at this point, this is where I've actually realised there are more players on the enemy team than on our team. I'm looking at the map here, I'm like, my god, they've got a lot of flags. And I'm checking the scoreboard just to see how I'm doing there, and I realised that they've got 71 players at this point on the enemy team. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Okay, this makes sense, you know, they've got 71 players. No wonder they're capping all the flags. And at this point in the game, things become a lot harder to me in terms of survivability, right? Because they've pretty much pushed us all the way to our gimme flag. And we now have about 71 players encroaching on our home flag. As you guys can see, they're starting to run across the wilderness here, and I'm going to do my best to sort of keep them at bay. They are standing behind this cover in the rock sides. This is really the Nightbird's bread and butter. A lot of people rip on the Nightbird and, you know, that it's too overpowered, and of course, you know, I agree that definitely the rocket pods need looking into. It needs balancing on a vehicle-by-vehicle basis, as I've always said, but you have to agree, when you have one on your team, guys, it does help you, because those infantry that are hunkered down in covered positions, the Nightbird is like the perfect tool to get behind that cover, disturb the peace, make them start running in every which way. And now you can see my infantry is actually starting to push up a little bit against theirs because of the support I'm able to give them here. But it's not really going to do much, because they just have so many more players than us. They can just keep on spawning here, and very soon you're going to see I'm going to have a tirade of TV missiles and AA missiles coming my way. We do have another attack heli coming in here. Now that we've only got the one air vehicle, you actually don't need to worry about air vehicles as much. But as you can see, I hit him with the rocket pods first there, finished him off then with the cannons. That's generally the best way to go about it. You want to try to conserve some rocket pods if you see an air vehicle, so that you can take them down. Now, I think I make a pretty big mistake here. Yeah, there is an MAV right next to the flag. That's how far they've pushed in. They've got an MAV on our home flag, and they're capping our home flag, and that just absolutely pounded me. So I'm going to drop down here behind the cliff face and try to get some repairs off. I do actually have the repair tool on my specialist, but I'm not really going to risk, I don't think, landing. Maybe I do land. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to land here. Get a quick repair off. Otherwise, you can, of course, use the repair function, the maintenance function in the heli itself, and just sort of wait for the auto repair. But I find, you know, taking the repair tool just helps speed things up. It, you know, stops you being out of action for way too long. So I'm having a scout around here as I come back up to figure out basically what was attacking me, because I haven't actually, when I played this, I didn't see the MAV. I only saw it now in the recording, so I was like, what the hell? You know, I was cursing like crazy. What the hell is attacking me, right? I do see the enemy transport over there. Now, what I'm going to do is try and get as much altitude as possible. If you get below that thing, guys, in the Nightbird, you're going to die. So again, hit him with the rocket pods. Another thing with the rocket pods, you'll notice you have to aim with them way, way lower than where the cursor is. You know, if you're far enough away, you can just use the cursor, but generally, if you're up close and personal, which is really where you want to be to do good damage with the cannons as well, then you have to aim way, way lower than where the cursor is showing you. So more TV missiles coming in here. I can hear the whistle. The transport has crashed into the cliffside, so problem solved for me there. But here comes another attack helicopter. I think this is the same dude here. And now we're in a head-on one-on-one. I've decided to take this on. and I'm sort of strafing up and down, and I actually managed to snipe the pilot out there. So if you can manage to aim with your miniguns right into where the cockpit is, sometimes you can actually snipe out the driver, the pilot, and that will save you a little bit of time. You don't actually have to take down the full health of the vehicle. And while I was doing that, it didn't really look like it, but I was actually pressing like W and S on the keyboard, strafing up and down a little bit, just to kind of throw off his aim. You know, that's always a good tactic as well. You know where you have to aim because you're doing the moving up and down, whereas he's going to have to second guess it. So I'm coming down onto this objective here. You know, I figure even though we've only got the one flag, I see we're taking the E1 flag as well down in the ravine here. So I'm going to try and give a little bit of support by taking out some of these pesky infantry who are just sat in the cliffside, firing TV missiles down below into the gorge. As you can see, there's just a bunch of them here. And I might have bitten off a bit more than I can chew. Yeah, I didn't have flares there. I flared too late. Unfortunately, they were still on cooldown, so I'm very low on health here. And I'm going to go up the gorge. That TV missile just very narrowly missed me. I honestly thought I was toast here. So I'm trying to get to cover, taking out a few guys, whoever I see on the way. And I am spamming the repair button. I'm spamming G on the keyboard. The TV missile's still chasing me here. I don't know where they're coming from. But, oh, this was an insane round. This was actually really fun to play. And I'm kind of surprised I survived as long as I did. I did spot another transport helicopter on the minimap then, so whenever you see one, you don't always necessarily need to go for them, but you want to go for them before they go for you. You know, if a transport with a full complement of gunners, and especially if it has repair guys as well, sees you and it wants you dead, there is really no way you can run from it here. So I see him again here on the right hand side. He's kind of a little bit lower. I think I'm going to go for him here. Yeah, we're going to swing around here and go for him. I'm not really at the best angle. You know, the left gunner can definitely get me. Luckily, he kind of crashed there into the mountainside and lost some health, so I'm going to go and just try and finish him with the cannons from range here because he just has so little health left. Although I'm getting locked on here. We've got TV missiles just constantly flying behind me, so, you know, you can't get too entranced by what you're doing. You can't just go all in on your target, even though it is nice sometimes to fly in a straight line. You really want to just constantly be bobbing and weaving and moving in the Nightbird, taking a shot, moving again, taking a shot, moving again. You really just can't stay static or you will die very quickly. So yeah, I'm pretty sure DICE have some work to do here. You can see, I mean, we have 40 tickets left. They have 870 tickets. As I say, I thought it was originally just a coincidence and a UI bug, but now after having played a second game with more players on the enemy team than on our team, and getting completely trounced again, it's obvious to me that this is not a UI bug. This is actually the number of players on the enemy team. It's weird, I haven't seen anyone else talking about this. As you can see in the chat, people are just saying, you know, shit team, what are you doing guys? And I'm like, there's a reason we're losing. Look, they have 72 players and we have 55. Nobody else seems to realize that fact, not even DICE. So I'm going to send this to some people at DICE, let them take a look at this, because honestly I haven't seen anyone else commenting on this. So let me know guys down below if you've had this happen to you. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.